What's going on, guys? It's Wes Bryant here with Casey Honigbaum, and we're here for another Big 12 ACC matchup. This time we got SMU and Baylor. Baylor has beaten SMU 13 straight times, so I know that the Mustangs are going to be ready to go for this one, very much motivated.
Yeah, and you mentioned during that 13-game win streak, they've outscored SMU by 405 combined points. So I think you're very right. SMU is going to want this one back, but this is a big one for Baylor. This was a storied rivalry back in the day. They played annually from 1916 to 1995, so it's cool to get this one back.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're talking about two programs in the state of Texas. They don't like each other, and SMU coming off back-to-back 11-win seasons. So I think they feel like they're in a different place now and can maybe break that streak. Always like a good quarterback-linebacker chess game. Kevin Jennings last week, he looked good, but he had a couple of turnovers. And so Baylor has a linebacker, Keaton Thomas, who had over 100 tackles last year, preseason All-American candidate, and he had 15 tackles versus Auburn. That was a career high for him. So I can't wait to see the chess match between these two. How do they move the pieces to be able to help their respective units?
Yeah, I think, kind of going off that, it's Baylor's passing game against SMU's defense. Obviously Sawyer Robertson, he threw for over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. But I think the biggest key for Baylor, it's going to be Michael Trigg going up against the linebackers. He is tough to cover. He's athletic, he's big, and he can run routes really well. He was a big piece for them against Auburn, so look to get him going against SMU.
Numbers tell the story, and for SMU, it's all about this explosive offense at home, man. Over the last 16 home games, they've averaged 48 points per game. They get after it, okay? And they've been 15-1 in that span. So it's something about that stadium that gets this offense cooking.
Yeah, the number I'm looking at is 307. That's the number of rushing yards that Baylor's defense allowed last week to Auburn. So obviously, you have Jackson Arnold with Auburn. He's not necessarily known as the most mobile quarterback, but you're going up against Kevin Jennings, who can run the ball. It's not necessarily, he's not a run-first quarterback, but it's another quarterback who you're going to have to worry about on the ground. And I think this is going to be a real test for Baylor once again against another heavy rushing team.
And got to throw in a quick tidbit, man. The son of CJ2K, Chris Johnson Jr., man, he's going to be licking his chops to go up against that defense that gave up so many rushing yards last week. Impact players in this game, and I'm going to go to the wide receiver position. Romello Brinson, he had 7 catches, over 120 yards, and a touchdown last week. Also the nice little flip somersault into the end zone. This was a guy that had over 400 yards total last year. So he's already on a tear. I know Kevin Jennings is going to be looking for him early and often.
Yeah, I'm going back to the quarterback for Baylor. Sawyer Robertson, 419 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. And I think one of the elements that he wasn't able to get into in that game against Auburn, because they had to catch up in that game, was his legs. He can use his legs. He had over 200 yards rushing last year and 4 touchdowns. So I'm looking for him to come back in this game and show some of his skill on the ground as well.
Going beyond the box score, I'm going to go with that Texas pride of SMU. They've won 55 games over the last 6 seasons. That's the most of any FBS team in the state of Texas. We know they love their ball down there, and SMU has been winning a ton, and I know that they love wearing that badge of honor of showing that they have been one of the best teams, if not the best team, in the state of Texas.
Yeah, I'm looking at Jackie Marshall for Baylor. He's a standout defensive lineman, left the game in the first quarter in that game against Auburn, and obviously I mentioned all the rushing production that Auburn was able to have. That was tough for Baylor to keep up with. And Dave Aranda revealed it's a high ankle sprain, so we don't really know if he's going to suit up on Saturday or not. But if he does, that's going to be huge for them. If not, it's going to be tough because they had to blitz a lot. That's not necessarily what their game plan is, and it's going to be tough, again, like I said, against another mobile quarterback in Jennings. So we'll see if they're able to get that done without Marshall or with Marshall.
Folks, you don't want to miss this matchup. The state of Texas is going to be burning up for this one. Baylor and SMU, it's going to be a fun one.
I'm excited. Big rivalry in the state of Texas, and we'll see what these two teams can bring.